How are you?
Hey Joey, how are you?
All right, tired, but it's all right.
Tired. Me too. Jet
All right,
lag. It's like
I know.
awful.
I'm just, stay up too late, so I have no excuse.
Well, that seems more exciting.
Yeah, no, just poor planning of my evening. Uh,
Yeah.
Congrats so much on the film. I saw it at Telluride, and I think I stopped laughing like 5 minutes ago. So
That's
it's
funny.
I got such a kick out of it, and I also just think it's so exciting to see a writer and a director who sort of organically come together, and you're like, how are they not the same person almost? Like I've never seen such specific writing and such specific directing so like fit in a way that I don't think you could have ever planned it until you realized that it was happening.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a lucky fit in a way. Like we've always, from the moment we met, just we have a very easy relationship and we have a very similar sensibility,
Yeah.
even though we also are very, we have quite differences between us. But I think it was just even when Yorgos was telling the story the other day, like when he was reading screenplays for The Favorite, he couldn't find anyone, and he read something of mine. He's like, maybe this guy. And then the producers set up this big Zoom. He was in London, I was in Australia, and he goes, we got on and we talked about what we thought The Favorite would be, and he got off and he goes, and it had taken 13 minutes, and the producers were like, what? And he goes, it's fine. We get it. And then he goes, a month later, there's a script. So we've always had a very strong shared sensibility.
Oh yeah, and I think here especially, there's so many ways in which it could have gone wrong. The tone could have been off. You
Yeah.
could have disconnect between the actors. The fact that everything just feels perfect has to start with the script. But I imagine writing it, there is a sense of I can kind of go anywhere with this, but if I keep it sort of targeted at where I know we're doing our best work, it's gonna hit. I imagine it's also just a terribly fun thing to write.
Yeah. I mean, it was like when I read it, I think I was like, I've never adapted a book before. And I was like, I don't know whether the baby's brain in the woman's head should be the first thing I adapt.
Yeah.
But it also was like a great challenge. And him and obviously he's a great director and we get on great. So I was like, why wouldn't I do it? And then it's just like, it's gonna be something wild. We were like, what is it?
Yeah.
But then it was just putting Bella at the center because she's not at the center of the book.
Hmm.
It's told by other people, and so we could create her journey from the beginning. And then it was just like, okay, it's a crazy world, it's a wild premise, keep her grounded emotionally, and then create a dialogue and a language that'll be fun and kind of fantastic as well, and but contemporary enough that people can get inside it. And yeah, so it felt like this incredible challenge where you're like, don't know if we can bring it off,
Oh no,
you
and
know.
I think you made the perfect choice in putting her front and center, because I think also the way you guys choose to evolve her, there's never a scene where it's addressed. Like aside from early on when oh there's development going on, once she's on out in the world, there's never a scene where you stop and go, oh, this is the next phase. It's just as things happen and she tackles them differently,
Yeah,
you're like along for the ride in a way that
yeah,
um is obviously very structurally planned out by you guys, but comes off as just the fun next thing. Oh, Bella discovers prostitution. That seems adorable. Like it's there's something about the way she goes about it that it's serving two masters, but you're never not having fun.
yeah. Because I think it's partly the inbuilt in the character was like, I was just like, her thing is just discovery.
Yeah.
And so it was the audience are discovering it as she's discovering it. And also her responses to everything are so could be unlike anyone's responses because she had no society, she had no shame, she didn't understand judgment. So it was just like, oh, well, why don't I change how prostitution works? That
Yeah.
seems good.
Oh no.
So she is kind of a great character in the sense that I could bed that in and just ignore the fact of going, now she's learned this,
Yeah.
you would just be on a ride like she was.
Oh yeah. Now every time you get a description of something like that, and you're like, You know, that's completely accurate. She has described that completely accurately, but in a way that is very specific to her.
Yeah.
And just I was cackling at that first
Right.
screening. And then I think even just for you, you know, you hopefully have a sense that you've done a good job, but you never quite know until it comes together. What's it like watching it, watching the actors put like such specific words and such specific mood even
Yeah.
into action?
Oh, I think like on set, I was like, this is, I mean, the sets, I don't know what it's gonna, he tells me, but I didn't really know what it would look like till I got to Budapest. And it's kind of like, Jesus, really? Wow. And then I think the first time I saw it, because I'm not on set that much because he doesn't change anything, he doesn't need me. But I was just like bowled over by it because the performances are so great. And I knew everyone was taking a big swing. I knew the script did, but then I went to and I knew the sets were, and I'm good friends with Holly who did costumes, and I knew, so I was a bit like, how is he going to pull all of this? And Mark was kind of doing this crazy wild Duncan, and Emma was like just so bold in all her choices. I was like, how are we going to bring it together? But then I saw it, and it's so beautifully organic that I'm like, that's kind of one of his geniuses,
No, it feels like everyone is taking like the same big swing, and when you do
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you're
totally.
on
That's a good way to
you're
put
on
it. Yeah,
firmer ground. Yeah, I think if half the cast was and half the cast was taking it like this is serious
totally.
art, then you'd be like, I don't think either person has gotten what I did, but I think because
Yeah,
everyone
totally.
all in.
Well, I think that what was a real sense in the movie was playfulness. And when you hang out with all the actors, because the 3 weeks of rehearsal everyone does together,
Yeah.
it gives everyone this sort of playful thing. We're making something we're all serious about, but there's no seriousness in doing it.
Yeah.
There's kind of like play, and there's a creative, like, let's just go see what we can do.
Oh yeah, I mean for everyone, I think even for you, you know, obviously, you know, I can sympathize on some level. You know, writing is amazing, but also sucks. Like it's such a great job with the idea of, oh, what do you have to do there? I have to create things, but
Yeah.
also, you know, the blank page, or you're like you've
Yeah,
written
you're like,
words and go, oh, that's not right. I'm out of words. This is a problem.
yeah, yeah,
But then see it become actors putting the words in and doing it
yeah,
well. And then, you know,
yeah.
there's like you said, the production design. There's a set that like was created because of something I wrote on a computer screen. It's got to be amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember walking around Lisbon because the set for Lisbon, it took you 45 minutes to walk around it on the biggest soundstage in Europe. And they built everything. You kept like walking down alleys, and then there were complete cafes with complete detail that aren't in the film. It's one of the reasons the titles has all those, because there are all these details that you couldn't kind of get, but they were so amazing. Yorgos wanted to like kind of show them.
Of
So
course.
yeah, I think it was. I think it is the joy of working with these talented people that you were like, wow, it's kind of
Yeah.
amazing.
I think keeping the wow factor is such a core element of enjoying the work because it is, you know,
Yeah.
there are days, there are amazing days, but if you can go, wow, all this work literally started because of a conversation Yorgos and I had, then a book that I read, then I started typing things and went, well, what if I go here? And then this got created. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is wild. I remember on set, Yorgos's wife Ariane saying that to me. She's like, is it weird that you just wrote some words and now there's like a giant ship in a thing and hundreds of people working and these amazing actors? So yeah, it is kind of, I don't think I ever lose that. I'm always like, wow, this is kind of great. Is that Willem Dafoe saying something I wrote? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, and you know, money doesn't hurt, but also I think seeing like that all, it's why I think the work is so exciting, and it's why I think so many people, myself included, want to see you guys keep working together and keep going and exploring new things because it's such a great match that brings out fun and creativity
Yeah.
and just love of going to the movies and seeing something that not only did you not see before, you didn't know you could see.
It's true. No, I do think that's what I think about the movie. I feel like when I saw it, I was like, this is great because I haven't seen this movie or anything like this movie
Yeah.
before. So it
And
did feel
and
so.
and now you've created it, and it's one of my favorites of the year.
Well,
So I will say thank you for creating it.
well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Oh, so much. Thank you. Thank you for doing this as well.
No worries. Pleasure.
Well, my pleasure.